When the Canadian national team takes the pitch, they carry the weight of a difficult regional reputation. In the global game, CONCACAF teams are often dismissed as easy draws rather than genuine threats. This was their third trip to a World Cup, yet through all those appearances, they had never managed to secure a single victory in the knockout stages. The players were aware of the math. They were 90 minutes away from erasing decades of frustration or heading home for an early exit. South Africa presented a unique challenge. While they often lack finishing power in the final third, they are built around a famously resolute defensive structure that refuses to be broken down. The match quickly evolved into a high-stakes psychological crucible. Success now depended on pure discipline, with every player knowing a single error would end the nation's run. For the first 75 minutes, Canada held 55% of the possession. But that number was misleading. Having the ball is meaningless when the attack is entirely predictable. Instead of building play through the center, the strategy devolved into launching repetitive, direct long balls over the top, hoping for a lucky bounce that never came. Without service, star forward Jonathan David was a ghost. There were large stretches of the match where he was so isolated you could easily forget he was even on the pitch. Even when trying to find a rhythm, it was sloppy. Both sides were constantly surrendering the ball through unforced turnovers in the central midfield. Hollow possession without midfield control creates a dangerous war of attrition. In a match defined by exhaustion and grinding defense, that scenario almost always favors the team sitting back. This chart shows the momentum of the match, and it reveals a sudden, staggering spike in Canada's favor right at the 75-minute mark. That is the exact moment Alphonso Davies stepped onto the grass. Rather than relying on his top-end speed, Davies used his intelligence to manage the game. By shifting deeper into the midfield to receive the ball, he pulled the South African defenders out of their rigid positions. Once he drew them in, he bypassed the safe lateral options. His unconventional, angled reverse passes found the strikers in pockets of space that had been closed off for the previous hour. It was an immediate adrenaline injection for the squad. You could watch the Canadian players move from 85% capacity and exhausted to 110% the moment their leader arrived. A world-class talent creates a massive gravitational pull. It doesn't just improve one position, it elevates the intelligence and energy of every single player on the pitch. Tight games are usually decided when an opponent blinks. South Africa committed a cardinal error, a mistake taught at the youth level, by heading a clearance back into the middle of the field, right to the top of their own box. Stephen Eustáquio was waiting. He showed disciplined patience, holding his ground and waiting for the looping ball to descend to the perfect height before making his move. When a ball bounces like that, the natural impulse is to swing wildly and slice it. To keep the shot driven and on target, you have to lean the torso forward, keeping the body over the strike point. Eustáquio maintained his balance, executed a flawless strike, and buried the ball at the exact moment his country needed it most. Historic breakthroughs often hinge on margins this thin. A single lapse in concentration is all it takes, provided that someone is technically prepared to punish it. This gritty victory provides a direct validation of Jesse Marsch's polarizing tactical approach. It is a sign that his message is finally taking hold with this roster. His style demands extreme emotional investment and constant physical output. In a 9-month club season, asking players to run through a wall every day can lead to rapid burnout. But in the short, high-stakes environment of a national team tournament, that same intensity becomes a powerful blueprint. It is perfectly engineered for these quick, do-or-die bursts of competition. However, there is a reality check ahead. If Canada repeats these sloppy midfield turnovers against an elite side like the Netherlands, they will be carved apart. This achievement goes beyond a single tournament bracket. By securing their first ever knockout win just as they prepare to host the world in 2 years, Canada has created a cultural flashpoint that echoes the United States in 1994, a moment where a nation's sporting reality finally aligns with its ambition. By surviving this 90-minute war of attrition, this team has done more than just advance. They have secured the long-term future of the sport in their country for the next 20 years.